Hello and welcome back to the Portadown preview show. We are now on season 2, episode 7, we believe. Now, I wasn't here last week, so we're just going by what Dave was saying there. So, Dave, as always,
nobody was here last week.
So originally we were meant to be previewing. This was meant to be a preview show for Cliftonville, followed by Ballymena Utd, but then the fixtures have all changed. So this is now going to be a show where we're previewing our upcoming fixture next weekend against Ballymena United, and then the Mid Ulster Cup game against Warrenpoint. So if people are confused, we apologise, but blame the powers.
We're confused. I'm confused as well. So yeah, because not only have they swapped league matches, then they've swapped, because originally the Mid Ulster Cup match was supposed to be the week before, and then we ditched it in preference of the League Cup match on Wednesday night, and now it's all skew. But I think we should definitely let people know that this is, what date is it? This is Sunday the 10th when we're recording this. So we're looking a week ahead to Ballymena, aren't we? And then the Tuesday night after that.
Yeah, so I've no doubt that in the next couple of days we'll probably get another message saying that another one of our fixtures has changed, because there's been that many changes of lost count. In fact, we'll probably be playing a game maybe we don't even know about it at this rate. So yeah. Anyway, we're delighted to be joined by Portadown defender Patrick McNally. Paddy, how are you keeping?
Keeping well, mate. Yeah, good. What about yourself?
Not too bad. What have the pair of you been at over the weekend, seeing that we didn't have a Portadown game to attend?
Paddy looks like he's lying up in the corner of a pub there, I'll be perfectly honest. Like that nice leather bit of sofa and the nice pub wall there, I don't know.
If only, mate. If only. No, not much. I actually went and watched Not Brilliant Orange yesterday, so that was a great game. Sending off 5 goals. Brilliant.
The last minute winner, wasn't it, as well? After being 2-0 down, was it?
Yeah, scored late on, and they basically played the remaining probably 10 minutes of the first half, and then the full second half of 10 minutes. It was a great game. Like, still matching Big Connell strutting his stuff. Like,
was he got the trumpet out as usual? Did he?
Yeah, he was, honestly. So when they scored the winner, he was the whole Arch team were over here, but Connell just went on a full mazy run by himself. Like, where all their supporters were, just went down and started clapping all there.
I saw a photograph of that somewhere of him just running.
Yes,
But then I looked up the wee score up to see if he'd scored the winner, and I was like, oh, he hasn't scored, but he's doing a full length of it.
He was nowhere near it.
Ards are absolutely flying at the minute. They're top now, yeah.
Yeah, they are. They're top. Yeah, they're doing really well. They didn't play well yesterday at all, but they've done really well to get the win in the second half.
A win's a win at the end of the day. I actually saw him the other week. It's you know what? Ever since the trumpet thing at Portadown, if I saw him the other week in Belfast, he was working, and I just walked past and sort of just double took, and I just anytime I see him, I just think he should be running around with the trumpet, but he's obviously not, because he's wearing a shirt and tie and stuff. So
do you know what's funny? Like, I mean, when you hear the people talking on other Irish League podcasts or in Radio Ulster, it's always old dinosaurs, to be honest, saying things like, oh, there's no characters in the game anymore. But when Connell was with us, the crack was good. Like, he was always in the middle of it. He was always like, if a goal was scored, he was over to the fence giving hugs and kisses and all that. I think there's plenty of characters still kicking about the Irish League. It's not
there is, surely. In our league, definitely, yeah.
Sometimes I think the older generation think to be a great Irish League character meant you had to go and chop somebody in a match, or like get into a fist fight with somebody. Oh, great character, Kirk Hunter, great character. He loved the headbutt. Like, what? Really? Is that what a great character is? I don't know.
It's just an easy thing to label it us, isn't it? Like us playing now, like, there's no characters, there's no it's nonsense. Like, but
there's a few characters about.
There's plenty.
There are indeed. Dave, what have you been at over the weekend then? Have you been up to much?
None of your business, to be honest. No, do you know what? Oh, flip. My wife was working, so I took the kids to the caravan, and we went up on Friday, and as I was coming into Coleraine, I realised Coleraine were playing Glenavon because I saw the floodlights on, and I looked up the wee app, And I was just thinking, if my wife had been with us, I probably would have got her to drop us off at the showgrounds, and I probably would have watched that. But nothing. Did a bit of swimming, did a bit of paddleboard, and just took it easy, But you do miss football at the weekend when it's not on. Like, it's a long time until the Ballymena match. Then.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I felt lost yesterday.
What did you get up to? See, we're talking about our private lives. What did you get up to, Neil?
Well, yesterday I went and done the park run, and then I went and watched a local team that I used to play for. They were playing a cup match, just down the road.
Tugmona Tuk-Tuks. Reserves.
Ballygo backwards seconds. And just went to the pub after, had a couple of drinks, and then watched the Northern Ireland match last night. So, but it's not being at a game. It's so bizarre. I just can't. It's just you're scratching yourself. You don't know what to do and all. Like, do you know what I mean?
Here, before you move on, you did the London Marathon last weekend.
Yes, I did indeed, and it went really well, and it was an unbelievable atmosphere, and I raised well over $1,000. So thank you to everybody that donated to me. It was for Blood Cancer UK. So it went great. It was an unbelievable experience, and yeah, I would really recommend you put your names in the hat to do it. Like, it's something it's something you'll never forget. Like, but it went really well. Like, so thanks very much.
On behalf of us all and Portadown supporters and team and management, well done, mate. We're proud of you. Well done. Good job.
Well done.
And of course, the fundraising is the main thing, but to run a marathon is psychologically, I couldn't do it because I just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Me neither.
No.
Thank you very much, but it does help whenever. Like, I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say there wasn't at one point during the whole course where there wasn't hundreds of people there, thousands, the whole way around it. It was unbelievable. Yeah, the atmosphere was absolutely incredible.
I mean, when I said psychologically I couldn't do it, physically couldn't do it either. So,
that's what you meant.
Yeah, well. Speaking of last weekend, then we'll get straight to it. We have liftoff this season at last. We went to Milltown last Saturday, and we were 2-0 down, and we came back and won 3-2. So, Dave, the floor is yours. Match report, please.
Match report: 2-0 down, 1-3-2. Cracker. That would be the short. That would be the tweet. Oh, that's a good wee idea. I wonder, does anybody tweet match reports in 14? How many characters is on a tweet? 40 or something, is it?
Not sure, to be honest. Is it 150 maybe?
140, that's what it is. I've just come up with a good idea there. The tweet. Is
that not what Johnny Dunlop is meant to be doing for Portadown? Like the match at the end?
No, but I mean, just at the end of every match, you just do one tweet is a match report, and that's it. I think that'll be good crack, like. Anyway.
One adjective you're allowed.
Just
to sum up the score.
First half, played okay, didn't score, 2-0 down, 20 minutes to go, 1-3-2, end. That'll be a good tweet, like. Except you wouldn't have enough. No, okay, so it's not a good idea. Okay, I'm reading between the lines here. Warrenpoint away. Well, I suppose we went down under pressure, really, just after coming off the back of the Dungannon match and sitting bottom of the league. I think everybody was just feeling that pressure of, we need to get the first win under our belts here, and we did it, and we did it in some style. I think, first half obviously went one down. I'm sure Finno knows he got himself in a wee bit of a twister. I'm sure Paddy's seen it, and I know everybody can make mistakes. It just sort of bounced and then went wrong side, and Warrenpoint went in and took the lead. And I wouldn't say against the run of play, but definitely, I mean, they weren't flying or anything, and then 1-0 down at half time, you sort of think, okay, we've been in it here, if we're not too far off the pace. Had plenty of possession, creating a few chances. You go in for a wee cup of tea at half time, come out in the second half, and very quickly you're like, oh, this isn't good. You're 2-0 down. And that was a penalty, wasn't it? Sort of the the right forward went past Adam, and Adam sort of got back and got a leg across him. And when you slow it away down and watch the highlights of it, he does get just a touch on it, Referee probably doesn't see that in real time. And all of a sudden you're 2-0 down and you're thinking, we are struggling here, And then I suppose Tippy freshened it up. Substitutes came on. Sammy came on, Sammy McLeod, and Adam Sally came on. Adam hasn't had much of a run this season so far. And whatever happened, that changed the sort of impetus. Is not a good commentator's word. Changed the impetus of, thanks, mate. Changed the impetus, and just, we went on the front foot again. The boys had plenty of energy coming on. And it was funny because it was one of those ones where, and I've been at these matches a few times in my life where you're 2-0 down, but as soon as you got one goal back, the feeling was there that you were just going to go on and win the match. It was almost really obvious that, okay, 2-1, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, right, and everybody, all the Portadown supporters, there was a feeling there that we were really on the front foot. There was 20 or 25 minutes to go, and we got the 3 goals and won the match, and it was pretty exciting, to be honest, and it was great to get 3 points on the board. And then all of a sudden you've gone from weren't we sitting bottom? Were we bottom?
Yeah, we were before that game, yeah.
We were sitting bottom, and then all of a sudden you're sitting ninth there, and it takes the pressure off, and the bus journey home was enjoyable, and yeah, the weekend was fine compared with the weekend previous, which was absolutely miserable. So, and then obviously we didn't play on Saturday there, and Ballymena got beaten, and Glenavon drew 0-0 with Coleraine, and you find yourself, instead of sitting bottom, you're sitting in a group of, it's basically the bottom half of the table, and everybody in the bottom half is in the mix, rather than, if you'd got beaten at Warrenpoint there, it would have been miserable. You'd be sitting bottom and not enjoying it. And now all of a sudden, you get a win and you could be sitting 7th, or if you get beaten, you could drop down 1 or 2 places. So there's 5 or 6 teams there, all in it. So yeah, it was a decent result. 3-2 down there. I think some of our stats against Warrenpoint aren't great, but all of a sudden now, the last 3 or 4 times we've played them, we've got draws or wins, so we've kind of overcome that. And when you look at the table, things don't look too bad. And if Glenavon, I don't want to be obsessed with Glenavon, but if they lose their next match and we win our next match, which is winnable in my opinion, they all are. All of a sudden you're sort of 7th or 8th rather than languishing in 10th or 11th, So I think it was a good Saturday all round. And, after the final whistle, all the players and staff sort of gathered in a circle in the centre of the pitch. And I wasn't talking to him, but I'm sure Tippy gave a bit of a rousing pep talk about let's push on from here kind of a thing. So, and there's a good bit of interaction with the crowd and a bit of cheering and clapping, and it was a good feeling. 3 points coming back up the road, yeah, for sure.
Paddy, you're in and around the squad. What's the feeling? What's the vibe like amongst the guys at the minute? Like, I'm sure they're all absolutely delighted to get left off, as was said earlier on.
Yeah, more often than not, it's relief when you get your first win. It's like, right, we've got it now. Right, let's kick on. But confidence was probably a wee bit low the previous week. So, and then when confidence is low, you go 2-0 down to come back from it. Like, that shows serious character. And I just think a result like that can sometimes just kick you on. Like, it can start your season almost. I know the season's already started, obviously, but that can be the making of you. Do you know what I mean? So, I was delighted for the boys. Like, so, it's lifted us, and we've got as Dave said, they're a winnable game on Saturday. So we need to approach that right and try and get 3 points there.
when you think about the character of a result like that, in seasons gone by, I've seen us going 2 goals down, just completely drop the head and shoulders, and then you go 3 or 4-0 down, and you maybe get a consolation goal at the end. But make no mistake about it, it was backs to the wall stuff, 2-0 down against one of your closest rivals at the bottom, to then bang 3 goals in. It gives you confidence, but it also knocks their stuff on a wee bit too, which does no harm either. So it was good now. It was good.
See, it's some turnaround, because you're saying there, you would have been rooted to the bottom. But the way Flash Scores does it live and tells you the scores and updates the table as it goes. So within the space of half an hour, it's Portadown are rock bottom, and Warrenpoint, because they've got the win, are suddenly up here. And then the space of half an hour, it's the complete other way around. It's mad. You know what I mean? It's just that wee moment there. It could totally spark your season and it can really take off from there. It's such fine lines at the end of the day. You need to look at the games earlier in the season where I know we conceded I know we scored a last minute goal, but we also conceded a last minute goal against Glenavon. And then, the games against Linfield, Larne, a bit unlucky, even Carrick. And you're just if something was to just go for us. And then suddenly now on Saturday there, some great finishes as well. Stephen Taggart, another wonder goal. And then suddenly here you go. It's sort of instead of you sort of looking way up at everyone else, it's sort of you're looking over your shoulder now to be right, we really need to kick on here, to make sure we get out of this manner. So
yeah, let's make sure we keep ahead of those 2 or 3 teams for as long as we can and push on from there. Yeah, satisfying. It definitely was. Yeah, feels a long time ago now, to be honest, though, even talking about it. And in some ways, it was unfortunate then not to have a match on Saturday past as we're talking, just to be able to push on from there again. But international call-ups, obviously.
It would have been a good game against Cliftonville as well, and there would have been a good crowd. Obviously, us winning helps, and then Cliftonville are absolutely flying at the minute, and then they would have brought a big support down as well. And I was really gutted when the game got called off. I was like, let's sake. There's nothing you can do at the end of the day, I suppose. But yeah, just that would have been, Paddy, you're a player here. Me and Dave are fans at the end of the day. As a player, you win a game.
We're former players and now fans.
We're pundits now. Sorry.
Oh, right, okay.
Obviously, as a player, I'm sure after getting a win, confidence is high. You just won another game straight away. Yeah.
That's exactly it. You don't want to wait too long. It's the exact same if you lose. You need a game around the corner to rectify it. But obviously, you got a great win. All of a sudden, you've got, as you say, in the space of half an hour, the table was sort of looking all different. So you need if you get a bit of momentum, you need to ride with it. Look at Cliftonville. They're absolutely flying, but they've got a bit of momentum and they've just continued with it. Do you know what I mean? People are saying we probably could have got Cliftonville at the wrong time there, because they're absolutely flying, as you said. But then we got that win as well, so that would have lifted us. And as you say, that would have been a great game. But listen, it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. And we have a massive game on Saturday, so we need to prepare properly for it, because I think it's a winnable game. It'll be a tough game, but I think it's winnable. And as I say, we need to approach it in the right manner.
Before we get on to talking about that, Paddy, it was good to see you brought your partner to a recent football match. And listen, I don't mean Conal McGrandles. I mean your girlfriend. What match was that she came to? Was it? Maybe it was the League Cup, was it? No,
it was Nainton in the Cup. All
right, that was you took her to the glamour match.
She was raging.
Date night with Paddy McNally, Shamrock Park, Porch v Nainton.
The next time she comes down is when I'm back playing. So
that was her first time. That was her first time down, wasn't it?
Yeah. First time ever. Yeah. It wasn't a great game to go to, was it? Sure.
He knows how to show a girl a good time, eh?
Can I tell you? I don't know if I would. The very first date, my wife, the very first date I took her on, I don't know who we were playing, but I took her to Shamrock Park with my dad to watch Portadown. And it was the old shed, and we stood in the terrace, and and she was over from London for the weekend. And then I took her home to my mum's house. I put a frozen pizza in the oven. I left her sitting talking to my mum, and I went down to my bedroom and had a sleep.
You're better than that, Dave.
No joke. We didn't have our second date for 2 years after that. But now we're married. Now we're married, and it's just a good story. Like, I think you have to start the way you mean to go on. Like,
yes, VIP cinema in the Odyssey was my first date.
Right, good.
I think we'll watch Shutter Island or something. I fell asleep.
And you're still with her?
Still there, so
you know what I mean. It's all good. It's all good.
Brilliant.
It's not about where you go. It's not about where you go. It's who you're with. Like,
exactly, mate. So we'll go to the Anton Cup game midweek.
Here, listen, I'm not going to take the hand out of you for that there, because I did exactly the same, to be honest.
100%.
Before we get on to the Ballymena game, Paddy, a few people messaged in. They were wanting to know how your recovery's going.
Yeah, great. Got some really good news yesterday. So basically done an assessment and had to it's like a testing day. So like I was saying to Dave briefly, but so you have to test all there's like 10 different exercises and you have to pass them all. Like there's a criteria that you need to hit. So passed with flying colours. So as of next week, I'll be back with the boys and I'll be there. I won't be training yet, but I'll be running. So it's a start, mate. You know what I mean? I haven't run since it happened, so I'm excited. But it's going great. So there's been no setbacks. Everything's going forward. Like looks good.
Glenavon at home on Boxing Day, yeah.
Straight in.
he's in the squad for Saturday here. It's all aroused. No, all serious. That's brilliant news. Well done.
Yeah, that's great.
Pleased for you.
Cheers, lads.
Just what you said there, Neil. Ronnie McFall, Portadown Times every Friday. Ronnie McFall would put in his Alfie Stewart's a doubt for the match, Brian Strain's a doubt for the match, Stevie Cowan hamstrings a bit tight, and then all three of them would start. Stevie would score a hat trick.
The old man games, love it
every week. Like,
outstanding. Well, here, listen, we'll move on then towards Saturday. Well, which is still a week away. So God knows what'll happen between now and then. But Saturday we entertain Ballymena United. As you know, we've already alluded to, it is a big game in the sense that Ballymena are scrapping as well at the minute. You know, they're down at the bottom too. They've not had. Well, they're on 4 points as well. You know, they've not had many good results. They've had a couple of surprising results as well, I suppose. But they're a side that can never be underestimated, especially with David Jeffrey at the helm. So, Dave, you know, what's your thoughts heading into that game?
Funny, the first thing I was thinking about that match was it was Ballymena at home that you get injured, wasn't it, Paddy?
It was, mate.
When was that? Was that
bad
November?
Times.
Was that October or November last year?
December.
Was it? It was early December, wasn't it?
The 7th. To be
He
exact.
He knows the date. Oh dear.
I know the date.
But no, yes, Ballymena are struggling. There's no doubt about it. I don't think things are tickety-boo in the old camp, which can happen. And they're definitely struggling to put too much of a run together there. So really good opportunity. I think recently, well, apart from at the showgrounds during lockdown when there was no supporters, I think they beat us. Did they beat us 4-1, Paddy? We were there that night. Was it 4-1?
They beat us at the end of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But there was a couple of other times. I think they beat us 2-1 at Shamrock Park, and there was a couple of times we've run them really close when they were going quite well. So I just see it as a big opportunity for 3 points, you know, and then it's the inevitable 6-pointer, isn't it, that commentators talk about that I don't really understand. But, you know, if we happen to beat them, we're on 7 points and they're in 4 points with the same matches played. And all of a sudden there's a team who you probably at the start of the season didn't think would be struggling too badly. All of a sudden they're low confidence. Things aren't just going well for them. So I see it as a great opportunity to push on. It's a home match. I encourage supporters to come out and get behind the team because every single point is valuable. So I'm sure the players and management will go out as every match looking for 3 points, especially a home match. And against the teams who are struggling, we're coming off the back of a good, positive, backs to the wall victory, a real morale booster. And Ballymena are struggling. Listening to the radio, I don't think they played too badly against Crusaders. And I think Crusaders defended a good bit after they had scored. But Ballymena are definitely struggling for points. So it works both ways, doesn't it? They'll be coming to Shamrock Park thinking, Portadown are a team, towards the bottom currently. It's a good chance for us to get a win. But equally, I think ourselves, Portadown, we will be thinking, at the start of the season, we mightn't have been looking at this match for a 3 points, but I think just the way Ballymena are and the form they're in, I think we have to go into it very positively, thinking this is a good opportunity to leapfrog them into a better position in the table for sure. I'm sure David Jeffrey's feeling under pressure. He's obviously an Irish League legend, but whatever's going on at Ballymena at the minute, just wee things you pick up reading forums and being in WhatsApp groups, things aren't all rosy there. So,
the forums, the fountain of all knowledge.
I know. But I mean, it's the forums are the forums, but it can sometimes give you a good indicator of the feeling of supporters and the morale, and obviously they never know what the specifics are, but Ballymena, there's definitely something morale-wise not very great there at the minute. So I'm hoping for 3 points for sure.
Yeah. See, it's funny. Like, I know Ballymena are, on the same points as us, but Ballymena, like, they're always a team I find that you can never write them off. And I know they're struggling early doors, but they're one of them teams that I think on their day can beat anybody. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going in being negative. I just think they're one of those teams that, with Jeffrey, a bit of an X factor there, wild card, I just sort of think you can never write them off. And I know they've started slowly, but I wouldn't get. I see, to me personally, right? See, in the Irish League, especially, you see, until you've played every team once and it's like past Christmas, then you get a rough idea of, what way the league's roughly going to work out in a sense, I suppose, like, in and around those areas. I just think it's too early at the minute to be writing anybody off. That's just my personal opinion. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
It's Ballymena. I think Ballymena will be a really difficult game. As you say, they'll be coming down thinking, right, if we win this game, they have a chance to really kick on from there. The old cliche, the 6-pointer, like you say. I think it'll be a very difficult game, but as you have both said already, it's a winnable game, and it's a game Portland should be looking to win.
It is, and it's 11 players against 11 players, and it's, you can fire out cliches, but if our individual players win their battles against their individual players and we take our chances, you'll win the football match, and the second half, for the last half an hour of Warrenpoint away, shows what we can do when we are in fifth gear and we are really putting a team under pressure. Shout out to Adam Sally in that match as well. He worked really hard, and he'll be looking another opportunity to prove himself there as well, getting back into the team. And, we took our chances and we scored 3 goals in that match. So it proves we can score goals, we can create chances, and 11v11. Those are the 11 individual battles. And if more of our players get on top of their players, that's what she said, then we'll win the match,
Fingers crossed. Paddy, you've played at Ballymena before. What's it like being up there at the showgrounds and whatnot, big club?
Yeah, it actually is. Like, I kind of knew they were a big club before I went there, but I realised when I was there how big they were. Ballymena are sleeping giant of the Irish League, like, I think.
But they'll never waken up. They're always going to be the sleeping giant, because I've heard that for 30 years. And I'm sorry. You know what I mean? No, you can say it for 30 years.
I threw that out deliberately, knowing you would take the bait there. Like,
screw you, man. The sleeping giant. They're in a coma at the end of the day. It's all right winning no disrespect. I would love to win a League Cup or an Irish Cup in the next couple of years, in the next 5 years, but they're a big club in terms of fan base and all of that. They definitely are.
Yeah.
But they've never kicked on and done it, like, and I know it comes down to finances, Paddy, money attracts the best players and all of that.
To be fair, they've been in, quite a few cup finals and stuff since Jeffrey's taken over.
Yeah.
And they won the League Cup and all as well. 3 League Cups in a row, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, so no, he's done some job since he took over Ireland, to be fair to him. But going towards our game on Saturday, I completely agree with you. You cannot go into that game in any way complacent, because Ballymena are going to look at this game and go, well, this is a chance for us to kickstart our season. We'll get 3 points out of these. Do you know what I mean? So it works both ways that way. But I think it could be a tight game, but because they're obviously struggling form-wise, but as you say, they could beat anyone. So can anyone in the league, to be fair.
Yeah.
I just think it's that type of league. Like, if you go in with a wrong mindset in any game, like, you will get egg in your face. There's no doubt about it. So we need to be up for it, and I'm sure we will, of course. The lads have obviously got a week's rest sort of thing, like, obviously trained hard and stuff, but there's no game. If boys were carrying knocks or doing this, it gives them a week to get ready to go for Saturday. Do you know what I mean?
There's I'm not going to mention any Ballymena players by name because I wouldn't give them the credit, but there's 2 or 3 players who are in their team who you would have heard their names mentioned regularly week in, week out last season as playing to the best of their ability, and I haven't heard those 3 or 4 players' names mentioned really at all this season, so
see, if they score now on Saturday, I am going to kill you.
Well, I haven't mentioned any names, so you don't know who I'm talking about.
Like. I know, but it's just don't tempt fate, please God.
No, but you know what? But what I'm saying is, obviously, they just haven't gelled yet this season, and those players who were playing especially well, that they haven't hit those heights again this season, and hopefully it won't happen on Saturday. Yeah.
Yep.
You think they're missing Shea McCartan?
Anyone would.
Mm.
Like, if he leaves any team, like, you can't go out and get a direct replacement for Shea McCartan because there isn't any. Do you know what I mean? He's that good. I think Shea's brilliant player, to be fair. So, listen, of course they're going to miss him. But there was a big turnover there in the summer with them. So
I think a couple of players that brought in, like, probably a couple of their top players, are injured, aren't they? I can't think of the boy's name at the minute, but once McCartan went and they got a bit of money in for him, they definitely signed they signed a striker from Derry City, didn't they? There you go. For example, he's injured, for example, and then I'm going to say it. The comment that I did see on the Paddy, you're a professional. You wouldn't read the forums, but somebody said,
absolutely not.
What is it they said? It was a Ballymena supporter, and he said, if you sign Carrick Rangers as cast-offs, you don't expect to be playing in the top half of the table. And that's not my words. That's somebody on the forum whose name I won't say. But
there's not many players in and out as well. I mean, like, results are going to be up and down. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to come in and go, even with ourselves, like, we sign players in summer. Very rarely do you just hit the ground running and go, here, first game, first couple of weeks, you're flying. It does take a bit of time.
Yeah.
We're part-time as well, you have to remember. So we're not training every day. Do you know what I mean? So boys gelling, for example, new players coming in, getting to know their teammates and what to do off the ball and on it and whatever else. You know what? That takes time.
Yeah.
But as I say, I'm looking forward to the game, I have to say, but I'll be a wee bit I'm a bad watcher anyway, as you know, Dave, so I just be a nervous wreck in the stands, so screaming and shouting.
You wouldn't get mouthy at all, Patrick?
No, I wouldn't be that tight now, would
I? Sometimes whenever, if I'm somewhere near where you're sitting, if we can see the goal, I always have a wee look over to see just your and whoever you'll be going to whoever's sitting beside you, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm a better player from a stand, mate.
Yeah. Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Here, Paddy, what do you make of Dave's regular clothing on Saturdays now? The wee cardigan he always goes for with his shirt and tie.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, but it's a wee bit, to be fair, Dave, like, what age are you, mate? Because do you know what I mean? He's not going to tell me his age, is he?
I'm
To be fair,
I'm 42.
mate, I have to be
I'm 42 years old. I'm proud of it, like.
Here, to be fair, mate, you're looking really smart around the ground these days.
Listen, you know, someone once told me about fashion. Fashion isn't good or bad. If somebody's talking about your cardigan, whether it's in a positive way or a negative way, it's all good. So that's
100%.
from it. Yeah.
No, you look
I was
good,
once told, no, right enough, only reckon, like, I was once told on a holiday in Ayanapa in 2009 by a group of people, and they said the more you stand out, the better it is, because the more attention you get. And it was always something I thought, you know what, that is actually great advice. Obviously, I failed miserably, obviously. Like, but
what year was this?
2009.
I'm going to go on your Facebook and look up your INAPA 2009 folders, see what you're up to.
No, please don't.
You deleted that when you started going out with Kirsty?
Well, I do know it's just going really off topic. A funny story from that. We were at one of these like big beach parties, right? And there was like a massive crowd of us went over, and the DJ was going, we're going to do like a talent show here, and you're thinking we're going to pick a few people out of the crowd, and you're just sort of standing there, you know, having a drink and you're chatting to people and stuff, and you're thinking, there's hundreds of people here. There's absolutely no chance. What happened? I just get yanked. So his hand just grabbed me and just pulled me onto the floor, and you had to do a chat up line, which I'm not going to repeat on this show, and you had to do a body poses, and again, awful. And then the last one, you had to do a lap dance, and the three judges were these three women that were pulled out of the crowd. And you got, so every time after each go, somebody get voted off, and I was like, here, I'm definitely going to get voted off the first go, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't, and I thought it right second time. I was doing there like Hulk Hogan poses and all. But yeah, it's just but anyway, that's a story for another day. Like, but there you go.
Where do we find this footage?
There was footage of it.
2009.
My mate does have footage of it, like, but that's going back for a while. But you know what? This brings us into a new weekly feature that we're going to do called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So
why does this bring us into it?
Well, I was
the ugly. Was that the ugly?
I was definitely the ugly, and your cardigan there was definitely the good. So I've prepared my notes here.
Back nothing less.
So yes, we're going to run the good, the bad, and the ugly. And so you two are up first here with we'll go ahead, Dave. You know, what's the good, bad, and ugly?
Should we do it in that order? I'm going to go. Paddy, you can be thinking of good, bad, and ugly in the week on here. It doesn't even have to be football related, like. But I'm going to say the good was getting our first win under a belt. Massive. That was good. The bad, I'm going to say that bad was the crowd at Warrenpoint last Saturday. Flip, it was. Our crowd was nothing special at all. I know we came off the back of a heavy defeat against the bottom club, but our crowd was disappointing. But if our crowd was disappointing, Warrenpoint, like, hey, I don't know. I don't know how to crack on with a crowd like that, because there wasn't many, and they'd made a whole fuss before the match about, there will be a cash gate, but it'll only be for our supporters, and I hope you don't miss it. I want your supporters to buy a ticket online because we don't want them to miss out at the cash gate and all this carry on. But the crowd was pretty poor. But ugly, I'll go for Sammy McLeod's face when he smashed the middle of his whole body onto the post while he was scoring that goal. Oh, that looked sore. And he was down for a while, wasn't he? Like the usually handsome Sammy was.
Yeah, he's a handsome boy, but here he stuck his head in where it hurts.
He did. It was ugly
Fair
at that
play to
moment.
him.
So fair play. Was that his first league goal for us? I think it
No,
was.
because he scored against Dungannon.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
Oh,
we did score that game.
I did. I'd forgotten about that.
No, but yeah, he scored.
There you go. I mean, he was only ugly for that couple of seconds when he hit the post and was lying on the ground, but after that he was
glorious
back to his
again.
handsome self.
It looked sore.
His legs wrapped around the post as well as his top half.
Rather him than me. What about you, Paddy? Then what's your good, bad, and ugly for this week? Then it has to be different from Dave's three. Has to be different.
And does it have to be of the game?
No.
Just good, bad, and the ugly. Wow, could have done with enemies before we went on here.
That's good.
Don't worry, I only get told just before it.
Shout out to Mark Beatty who wants to spice up the podcast here. But
right, I'll start with good then. So I suppose good's me getting great news about my knee, so I'm going to return to actually going down to train with the boys rather than just being in the gym. So that's definitely good. The ugly was my hangover today after staying up to watch that fight. And the bad would have to be International Week. I hate it. Can't stand it.
I hate it too. It's crap.
So there you go. Our three decent ones are straight off the bat.
For just off the top of the head. Neil, good, bad, and ugly. Go ahead. If you're putting Paddy under pressure, you're under pressure too.
Right. Do you know what? Good.
Has to be different to our three.
Yeah, good. I am going to say, go and see No Time to Die, James Bond. I've been twice.
Can't wait.
Have you not seen it?
Haven't seen it yet. So Molly works on the boat, so she's working this week. So I'll go to cinema with her. She'll not forgive me if I go by myself. So I'll go this week, mate.
I was at the midnight screening there last week on its first showing, and I loved it. I'm a full James Bond geek, so. Class. And then I went there again the other night there with another mate, and loved it. So I'll go the good, No Time to Die. The bad,
same thing.
I'll go Northern Ireland getting beat last night. That was disappointing. I didn't expect anything anyway, to be perfectly honest, but I just thought in the end, sort of
tough game.
It was a tough game. You get Switzerland have some quality players, but even still, it's not nice when your team gets beat. So I'll say that, and then the ugly. The ugly. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Isn't it? It is a tough one.
Wouldn't want to insult anybody either.
What do you call that Switzerland striker who used to play for Liverpool?
Shaqiri. Yeah.
You going for him?
I don't know.
For the ugly?
No, do you know what?
That's what I was hinting at, but nobody was picking it up.
I'll just go. No, I had a look at myself in the mirror this morning, and we'll go with that as the ugly.
Would you not say? I would go Ian Appa 2009. That was probably pretty ugly too.
Good shot.
That's 12 years ago. Jeez Louise, how time flies!
12 years ago? Are you allowed to go to Ian Appa when you're 15? With the boys from fourth year.
Yeah, but it was like the In-Betweeners movie. Good back now. Yeah, we'll keep running with this every week. It's good laugh. There you go. I'll go with myself. I was being ugly before somebody else does it.
Listen,
getting ahead of it.
No, it's World Mental Health Day, and I hope that's not how you feel about yourself, Neil, because you're a handsome fella. Don't worry about it.
He's a my boss. Right. We've also another fixture here next week. We're playing Warrenpoint in the Mid Ulster Cup, and that's who we've been drawn against following our victory over Dollingstown. Paddy, we'll start with you in this one then. Played Warrenpoint there last week. I would imagine it'll be a completely different team. As Tippy has said, he's going to blood quite a few youngsters coming through. What these youngsters that are coming through seem to be very gifted, very good players. What have you made of them so far?
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the kids at Portadown since I came to the club a couple of years ago. these games are a brilliant platform for them is to actually go and play in a competitive fixture where they're like getting the match day experience of being like a first team player. So I think it's invaluable for them. They need to sort of like playing games, I guess, before they can, come into the first team squad for, a league game. And it's a great way for Tippy to have a look at them, see what they're about. So yeah, I think it works.
Paddy, do you think Warrenpoint will play the first 11 or will they go under 20s?
I wouldn't have thought so. I think they'll play kids too.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe
funny,
wrong.
isn't it?
Could be wrong.
When you talk about our under 20s, you're not talking about like 18, 19-year-olds. You're talking about
babies,
15, 16, 17-year-olds. Like.
Yeah, 14, some of them. You know what I mean?
The same age I was when I went down, aren't
There you go. Is there a chance that match will get postponed and the League Cup match will get put back in there?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Those couple of cup matches have been sort of scattered around there. I don't know what's going on, but
I mean, because the Cliftonville game has been moved to November the 2nd now, so that's a midweek slot gone already.
Well, it's been moved to November the 2nd, and also it's been moved to an away match when it was supposed to be a home match.
What?
Yeah.
Why? Hi.
So we have a
breaking news.
I'm just gonna. I'm speaking personally as a supporter here, but there's like a youth international match at Shamrock Park on the Tuesday night. So then on the Wednesday night, I basically don't know. Niffle we appealed it and said no, we'll play it at home on the Wednesday night, and they came back and said no, we've moved it to an away match now, which
I can't believe that.
Defies any logic for me, really. But there you go. That's the powers that be made that decision, and it's a bit of an odd one, but it is what it is.
Yep, we'll get on it.
There you go. Is that all we're going to say about the Warrenpoint game? It's a bit underwhelming.
We just listen. It's I think just what Paddy said. It's a great opportunity for the under-20s to play a senior match, and there will be full-grown men playing, even if it's just a couple of them in some of those teams. And I encourage any Portadown supporter, when you can, to go and watch the under-20s. They're talented boys. Like, I watched them a couple of Monday nights ago. I watched them beat Carrick 8 or 9-0 at Shamrock Park, and then they drew. Was it Warrenpoint on Monday night? They drew 3-3 with Warrenpoint on Monday night past, which is like 10 days ago now. But they were 3-0 up in that match, and then when the substitutions came on, Warrenpoint scored a couple of goals and got back into it. But it's great watching them. They know how to, they play football. The keeper gets it out and they pass and move and they hold on to the ball and they create good chances. And there's a couple of names already get into your head who you just look at them and think, flip, you're going to be playing in the Portadown first team before too long, son. And then you're asking the like a Pizza or Big Neil McCullough about them, and you're like, he's 15 or 16, but big, proper big, strong boys, like tall, strong, athletic, and the future's bright when you see those teams. That'll be an interesting one. It's under 20s against under 20s probably. So the result, you'd like to go on a few rounds, but the result isn't overly important. It's getting those guys in, like Paddy said, and getting the minutes of senior football under their belt, and hopefully that gives them a stepping stone up into the first team squad and go from there.
See,
what are you smirking about? What are you smirking about?
No, I'm just laughing. Like you're saying, they're like kids that are like 14, 15, and they're getting the opportunity to play, for Portadown's first team, and they're playing against men. It's like when I was like 14 or 15, I was playing five-a-side at Carrick Leisure Centre. Do you know what I mean? Like it's unbelievable. Like when I don't know about yourselves, but like when I was like 14, I mean, I just imagine being 14 and playing, on a proper Irish League ground, and playing a proper first team match.
When you're 14, you're just a wee dickhead, like, at the end of the day. But these boys are.
I know, but it's unbelievable. Like, I just.
There's something there too. There's something there too, though, about the modern game in the last, even just 3 or 4 years, the teenagers are doing proper like strength and conditioning work, aren't they, Paddy? Whereas it used to be
a lot.
It used to be you'd be 19, 20 breaking into the first team and you'd just be a skinny wee whippet and you'd be getting kicked all over the place. Whereas the boys now are at 16, 17. They're not overly bulked, but they're stronger and fitter, and they do a lot of that kind of work as well, which is brilliant. Like,
have you seen the meme? Have you seen the meme? And it's me at 16, and it's some kid who's wearing a Rey Mysterio mask and has a WWE title. And it's the Kaku at 16 beside him, and he's like the Hulk. That's what it's like now. That's what it's like.
I know, it's mental. I know. I think I was 14. I played in a Satanta Cup game for Cliftonville, but I remember the whole experience of it was class. You know, like going into the dressing room with the players, and obviously being that young, and you would have went and watched the first team all the time. But I think I got on. I got played right back for about 10 minutes against Dundalk. Right? So
that's amazing. That's amazing.
We experiences like that, they're good. Like
brilliant.
Just when you're talking about men against boys, it reminds me. So like years ago playing in the BB football. Now Madal talks about this like it's a true story. But you know, in the BB football, it would have been, you might have been in first year, but you'd have been playing against boys that were in upper sixth. So you'd have been 11, you'd be playing against 18-year-olds. And our team was our team was hopeless, right? But we had a really young team, and some of our teams had like a lot of older players playing, and our team was so hopeless. And this is a true story that the goalkeeper came up and scored a hat-trick against us.
No way.
But what's even better is my dad has it on video, so I'll have to hook it out at some stage. The keeper was coming up and hitting shots from like the halfway line, and all they were going in.
But at that stage, you were probably playing on a full-size pitch, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
And that's the other thing about these lads who are 16, 17. You know, they've grown up playing through the GDC and then playing 9-a-side before they've ever played 11-a-side. So,
when we were playing kids, when we were kids playing, it literally only was 11-a-side. I remember, like, I used to have to take our goal kicks for my team when we were like under 10s because the keeper could literally not kick the ball out of the 18-yard box.
That's it.
And to be fair, I was only kicking it a bit further. But
I know. And if you'd one player in your team who could kick the ball hard and high, you just got him hovering outside the 18-yard box, and you were just pinging in shots in the full side.
Yeah.
This is all in your defence, Neil, about your crap BB team, to be honest.
I had a similar experience in my school team. My school team were the worst team ever, and I mean terrible. There would have been like one or two that like played football seriously outside of school, but the rest just wanted to get out of class. And we played boys model. They beat us 7-1. But I scored our one goal, right? And after the game, my PE teacher came up to me and I was like, nah, I'm not coming back. And he was like, what's wrong? He's like, I'm not coming back. I'm not getting embarrassed every week because of that there. So he had to like come and so I basically like says I'm not coming back, and then the week after I was a captain of the year above. So as soon as I said I wasn't coming back, straight away captain of the third years, I think it was.
Paddy, I thought you were going to say I left on Monday morning. I was standing outside the boys' model with my new uniform and my new school bag.
I'll still go. I'll keep going to Hazelwood, but I was going to ask boys model, can I just play with our team because they were class?
Oh, that is outstanding. Well, fellas, I think on a good story like that, it's an apt moment to wrap it up for this week. So, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the We Are Ports TV YouTube channel, and you'll be able to find this on YouTube and on Spotify. So give us a wee like and subscribe. And Paddy, thank you very much for coming on the show, and we're really pleased for you that your recovery is going so well, and fingers crossed we'll see you sooner rather than later back on the pitch with the Ports jersey on.
Boxing Day.
Appreciate it. Look forward to it, lads. Can't wait.
Exclusive announcement. Boxing Day. I'm only joking. There's no pressure, Paddy. We just want to see you fully fit and healthy and moving well and all that.
Appreciate it. Good man, Dave.
And cheers, lads. Make sure and bring Molly down to a game, that's actually exciting.
Yeah. I'll bring Molly to a Mid Ulster derby. She'll have to enjoy it, surely.
Be careful though, she might start talking wedding bells if you're starting to bring her to the football, like so.
But no, she's going to come when I'm back fit. So I'm sure you'll look after her, Dave.
I'll get a wee cup of tea or something anyway.
Yeah.
It's all part of the match day experience now with Dave, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Carry on.
Right. On that note, we shall say goodbye. Thanks very much, fellas, for coming on. It's been an absolute blast, and fingers crossed for 3 points on Saturday and a wee win against Warrenpoint for the kids next week. Cheers.
Cheers, lads. See ya.